Kentucky Senator Rand Paul had something to say that created a little bit of a furor this week. Let's roll the tape.
If someone comes out of a liquor store with a weapon and $50 in cash, I don't care if a drone kills him or a policeman kills him.
I don't care if a drone kills him or a policeman kills him. That was Kentucky Senator Rand Paul on Neil Cavuto's show Monday night in a comment that seems to contradict something he said during his extraordinary March filibuster. Here's what he said, and I quote, "When I asked the president, quote, can you kill an American on American soil, end quote, it should have been an easy answer. It's an easy question. It should have been a resounding and unequivocal no." Well, what does this contradiction say about a man who is tipped to be an important influence on the Republican Party? Editorial board member Dorothy Rabinowitz joins me now. So, Dorothy, is he against drones or is he for them?
Well, it is almost beside the point, but here it is. What he's for is himself and his chances in the presidential sweepstake. But if you roll back the tape to that filibuster, that extraordinary performance where he is Mr. Smith, Jimmy still goes to Washington, I'm just a poor country boy chewing my Snicker bars here. And remember that he draped himself in the Constitution and he kept presenting this utterly false picture of people being cut down by their swimming pools, by American drones. Can this happen? None of which ever could conceivably have happened. But it's that slippery slope that people like Rand Paul and their liberationist anti-government frenzy like to paint. So now that he has the specter of the Boston massacre, which took place last week in front of him, and the sight of what exactly we do need by way of protections against these dangers lurking, and we see the blood spattered, it came to him suddenly that he might better be on the side of protection and surveillance and all of those things he professes to see as the work of the devil. And that is essentially what we're seeing in front of us now.
Well, I'm really glad that you raised the Boston bombing because, according to Senator Paul, the younger Tsarnaev brothers should not have been declared an enemy combatant. Again, this is part of this theory of libertarianism. We have to give them every protection. Is that a dangerous point of view given the attack that we just suffered?
It's a dangerous one if it prevails, and is apparently prevailing now. But the point of view is that it is a loathsome point of view, and it represents the streak of libertarianism that Rand Paul represents, and that is going to be the force pushing him into contention in a presidential race.
Okay, well, let's talk about immigration, for example. Yes. As a libertarian, you would think that he would support free movements of people across borders,
yes.
Yet he said after the Boston bombing, let's delay. How does that, I mean, how do you square that circle,
Well,
Dorothy?
there's a word to sum it all up. It is really called opportunism and hypocrisy and all of those terrible things that we're used to in politicians, except for this. We are now in a dangerous place, a place where the Republican Party's integrity is really threatened by forces like Rand Paul, who, clothing themselves in the purity of the Constitution in the most profound ignorance, have put us in the position where everything that the government does is suspect until we have an emergency like this.
Okay, Dorothy, we have less than 30 seconds left. I'm going to try again on behalf of Senator Paul. He went to Howard University to speak to that community, African-American community largely. Isn't that a refreshing change? Isn't that something that the GOP wants to do? Isn't there some redeeming quality there?
Do not, you have come to the wrong source for redeeming qualities. I'm sorry to say, this is the purest kind of old-fashioned, cornball. But the truth of the matter is that when we face what happened last week and again, you can turn on the radio and you can hear, the government is asking for pat-downs in airports. Always remember those voices that are telling you about government endless interference in your life when you see the bombing and you see you need every ounce of surveillance possible.
You need every ounce of surveillance possible. The dangers of Rand Paul and extreme libertarianism.
Those are the values.
Editorial board member Dorothy Rabinowitz, we're going to have you back very soon. Thank you so much for being on the show.